Guy's still alive?
Oh, Paris, shit. You're here to kill me.
Calm down.
This wasn't supposed to happen. I
I need information on the Dusters.
They've been taking people out onto the streets, executing them, collaborators.
You ratted us out.
They forced my hand. I had no choice. They knew about everything. Holy shit. They had me by the balls. I had to do it.
Where are the Dusters controlled from?
I don't remember. Shit. There was so much going on, so many plans. They had complete control.
Just beat it out of him, you have to.
Guessing Earlston.
Fucking rats, they're coming in.
Focus.
I want to help.
Then help.
Tell me how to disable the Dusters, Crawford.
Get me out of the city, huh? Take me prisoner. You could protect me from the mob. I don't want to die, please.
All right. I will get you to safety. I promise.
Gotta stop promising people, because this guy's gonna
Dusters
die.
are controlled from a command tower at Independence Hall.
Independence Hall.
I'm sorry for everything.
Well, I'm sorry too.
Wait, you'll take me with you?
Nah, you're on your own.
They forced me.
You made your choice. I'll leave him to you, Brady. He makes me sick.
Oh, good. I'm glad you left him to me.
Parrish. Fuck you! You think this country belongs to you? We weren't here first. Everyone gets replaced. The KPA is stronger than you.
Yeah, well, I'm stronger than you.
Okay, new plan. We need to get to Independence Hall and find this drone control tower. I'll assemble a team to get us in. Brady, you go and make sure our launchers in the red zone are in place and secure. There's no point disabling the Dusters if the KPA have scrapped our SAMs.
All right.
Shit! Gas! You okay? Check your seals. Brady, we gotta end this now. Get to Lombard. Set up those launches. I'm going straight to Independence Hall.
Okay. I had my gas mask on. I wasn't sure if I had it on or not. Okay. Get over here. Give me a thing that I can't jump over, really? Go this way. The hell? Where the hell is this thing at? At least you know there's no APA around here anyway when they're gassing the place. What the hell? Oh, is this down? This is on this level, but I bet it's in this safe house here, right? Down here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Having us traveled around.
Brady, the SAM launchers are ready to move out. Meet up with the convoy and escort them to their deployment zones.
And I should have all be all up here.
All right, our escort is here. Let's get moving.
Keep your eyes peeled for any Nork movement.
I know this zone is abandoned, but it's still too quiet. Maybe they've already given up and pulling out of Philly.
Yeah, right. And maybe the KPA have abolished the American debt just for the hell of it.
Keep it down. We've got a job to do.
Oh, they're going up here. Okay.
Copy that. I see him.
Keep the launchers safe.
Yo. Alright. Here. Oh, Jesus, there's a sniper. Yo, got them. How about you not drive in front of me, guys? How about that? Great. You're really great. Alright. Load here. Having to switch back and forth for these snipers and stuff is rough, but we're making it.
Okay. This location is secure. We'll take it from here. Good job, Brady. The first launcher is deployed and secure. Continue with the convoy and make sure the second launcher reaches its position.
Okay.
We need both launchers ready if we're to pull this off. I'm glad we're dealing with the Nork's airships. They always freak me out. I hate the sound they make as they fly overhead.
Now is not the time for the chatter, guys. Eyes on the prize.
KPA reinforcements inbound.
Keep the launchers safe.
Brady, get your ass back to the convoy and make sure it's safe.
Okay. Another guy up here. Got him. I wonder if doing all these side missions, if this made this part easier or not. We've got like snipers now up on the rooftops and stuff. So I wonder if that would have been the case had I not done all that. Sniper right here.
We're in the clear. Good job, people. Both launchers are in position and secure. Nice work, Brady. I'll let Parrish know he's good to go. You best head on over and support his advance.
Brady, it's Parrish. We're assaulting Independence Hall now. We'll get to the Duster Control Tower or die trying. We can use your help.
Come on, let's do it!
Get rockets on that gate now!
Yep.
It's
Big
breached.
vents.
We're in!
Follow me!
Dana, watch those turrets! Knock them out!
Over there. Gonna have to listen to this on the radio as we run.
Wolverines! Hack tools, now!
Yeah, how do you like that, you fucks?
Hear them die on the radio, aren't we?
Heavy's on the right!
Light them up! Burn! Fucking burn!
Alright, oh. Goes through here. Like, how do I get through here?
Brady, we're through the gardens. We've reached the hall. Tower's just on the far side.
I'm out of clips.
Yeah, everyone. Grab any ammo you can. We got one more push. And get yourselves ready, then group on me.
Quickly, those airships won't wait.
Find my way around here. Very, very quiet in the city. And we're back here again.
Okay. I'm set.
Fire in the hole! Come on!
Keep moving!
The tower's through here! Help us!
Yeah, of course.
Stay with me, Jack. I can't do this without you. Come on, stay with me. I gotta figure something out.
Dana, you got this. I believe in you. Listen, look after Brady. Get him up there.
It's for everyone.
It's done.
You're like a brother to me. You saved me. We've run out of time, Ethan. This feels right. I'm gonna do something good for once in my life. Make it count.
Dana. Dana, no. Dana, wait! Dana! No! Oh, Brady, get to the tower. Take out those dusters. It's up to you now, man.
Could have just tossed that under the car. Didn't have to toss herself under there. She could have did that, but alright.
Parrish.
All I've got is a handgun now?
The airships are about to drop. We're out of time.
We can't launch missiles. The Dusters are still there.
I can see Brady. He's going for the tower.
42 seconds till airships are in position. What's wrong with me that I can't, that I'm moving like this?
Bring down the dusters. He's nearly there. Go on, Ethan. Go, go.
Hit him with your knife. Jesus. Oh, for crying out loud. All this time you've been knifing the hell out of these guys. And now they're going to get the better of you? Really? You've been taking them down in one shot with a knife. You're going to let them take you down.
Do it, Brady.
Dusters are falling out of the sky! The airships are wide open! Sam's are arming! Elm Tree firing. Holloway firing. Lombard, missiles away.
Look at that. Look what you did. This is thanks to you, Brady. Today, independence is reborn. The fight to keep it starts now.
Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Oh, and there was Homefront the Revolution, friends. Is there anything else before the credits here? Well, looks like we're just going to get the credits. Well, that was a thing. So, you know, to be honest with you, I mean, I didn't do 100%, but I mean, I did do quite a bit of the game. And, mechanically, it's actually, it's not bad. It's certainly basic. You know what I mean? It's like, I think if I were to describe this game's one like major flaw, setting aside the story for a minute, if I were to say this game's one major flaw, I would say that it suffers from consoleization. Right? Like, it looks to me like they had a lot of different open world concepts, and they had a lot of different things that were actually kind of interesting, you know? I mean, it's certainly territory that's been done to death. You know, like, do these things in this area and you'll liberate this area, and that's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I think the problem is that perhaps the hardware that they were targeting or whatnot was so limited that they had so many ideas for things they wanted to do, and then they just crammed them all into this tiny map segment, you know? And on top of that, they then said, hey, you know what? This is Philly, so the predominant texture is going to be just brick wall. You know? I mean, the one area that, you know, were around Independence Hall there that they had was probably the most interesting part of the city. Now, I get it. They're trying to show like it's run down and all that stuff, and you know, that's fine and all, but each area just kind of ran into the next. Like there was nothing that didn't. Like every area just it was more the same. Like bombed out factory, brick wall here, brick wall there. You know what I mean? It was just kind of very samey. There wasn't a whole lot to differentiate things. And in fact, it came to a head even in that one or two areas where I ended up running around in circles because I didn't realize, like, I couldn't make heads or tails of which direction I'm supposed to be going in. You know what I mean? So I ended up just going around in circles constantly because everything looked so similar. And the other thing is there was some differentiation in a few, like very few of the side missions, like the, you know, take over this factory or take over this network hub and all that stuff. Like most of those were very cookie cutter and just like copy paste, but there were a few that had like a little bit, like you could see they were going to do some interesting things maybe with a lot of them. Like they had something slightly different. They had like there was one house that I ran into that was booby trap. You know what I mean? Because the guy that owned the house was paranoid. There were other ones where they kind of took the basic premise of, oh, you gotta, you know, take this place over, but you know, you have to do something a little bit different. There was a hospital at one point where you had to just gather medical supplies, and they had those all over the map, all over that area that you had to find and all that stuff. So there were definitely some things that they tried to do some variation in there. It's just they didn't have enough variation. You know, you took down one gas factory, mining facility or whatever, and you took down all of them. Basically, it was the same pattern over and over and over again with that. There were a few even that I had to just Google because they had the objectives just super hidden that you need to do in order to take them down. You know, a lot of the destructive things, like you have to go and destroy some tanks, but the tanks were in an area that didn't look like it was part of the main facility. They were off to the side. You had to go find them, that kind of thing. But I at least give them props for trying to do something different. It's just they didn't do enough of that, and so it ended up feeling like very much like a low budget title. Even though it was sort of hyped up as a AAA title. And I think that's one of the reasons why it didn't do very well, is that people were expecting a AAA experience and they got something that was more like single A experience out of it. The story was, well, I mean, meme-tastic, I guess is the word I would use there. I mean, the story has been done to death 1,000 times. It got to the point where, you know, you're supposed to feel something for the characters who are getting killed and getting, you know, shot and all this stuff. But the problem is that that's pretty much the plot of every action, you know, gritty action film ever, right? It's like after a while, you're so used to seeing the same story beats that you just can't feel anything for the characters because it's like, oh, this has been done to death, you know? They didn't really pull anything weird or special there about it. Also, the premise of most of the game, I'd say about 80% of the game, was rescuing that one dude that you talked to at the beginning. Because the resistance is completely dependent on him, and then before they realize that he's turned. And that's not really a very compelling thing to base your narrative on, right? Because it's a guy that we don't even really know. I mean, maybe he was in the first game and I just don't know him from that. I don't know. But it's a guy that we just don't know. And we're told that he's important, but we have no basis upon which to put that. You know what I mean? This is not like a Mario Brothers thing where it's like you gotta go save the princess from an evil monster. This is just like we're all on a resistance, and for some reason the resistance needs this guy, but yet they're doing pretty well on their own without him. You know what I mean? It was just kind of a weird dichotomy there that doesn't quite fit, in my opinion. And then the gunplay and stuff was okay. The battle rifle is kind of annoying in that it constantly had that kickback that I was complaining about, where you really can't, you just got to do like burst fire, and burst fire just leaves you open constantly to being shot back. And so it's kind of, it was a weird thing, like, you know, that you'd never quite, there was no way to stop that, from what I could tell anyway. There was no way to stop some of that kickback, especially, you know, using it through most of the game, and you think your character would finally get used to it or something, but no, it's still kind of weird. And I see what they were trying to do with the guns. They were trying to make them interchangeable and stuff, but it doesn't really work the way they've done it. And I don't know, it took me a while just to figure out how to, I mean, I know the loadout was right there in the menu, but it took me a while to figure out that that's how I had to switch over from the crossbow they give you to the actual, something that's actually useful. Like, I've never in my life have I been given a crossbow in a game and it's been so useless as in this game. I mean, like, it's like, why am I even bothering? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be silent, but man, it does not do any damage whatsoever, at least from what I could tell. So yeah, there was that. And yeah, like the hearts and minds mechanic was, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't a bad idea. They especially made it so that you had to kind of do different things in order to fulfill it. Like, you couldn't just go around and turn on radios. You had to do a whole bunch of different things. So I'm okay with that. It's just that I wish that the activities that they had you do were more interesting. You know what I mean? They had some tasks as well that I didn't really dig into, because most of the tasks were just like, take pictures of things. I'm like, why? I don't want to take pictures of things. First of all, the game is not pretty enough to want to take pictures. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's why? And second of all, it's just like, you got to pull your, I think it was B. You have to pull the camera out, your phone out, and then take pictures, and then try to, and then put that away, and then switch over to your guns, and it was more annoying than anything else. If most of the tasks were like, take out 5 guys, or take out a roving truck or something like that, it wouldn't have been quite so bad. I would have put more effort into those things. But you had to take them out anyway in order to get the hearts and minds increased from it, you know? So it was like, and I found it funny too that I was getting hearts and minds increases when I had 100% on everything. So I was like, oh, okay. Because it was just like you were taking out, heavy armor and stuff. And the other thing that was unfortunate about the game is, like, as soon as you do anything, as soon as you fire off a shot, you're just swarmed with enemies. Like they all know exactly where you're at, you know, which is kind of unfortunate. You know, I get what they were going for there. You know, they wanted you to be stealthy and stuff, but really it was just the only stealthy you could do is just run up to a guy and do a takedown on them, which worked every time except when someone was shooting at you at the time, you know. So I don't know. And a lot of times when you do a takedown, you would instantly be alert, like the other guards around would instantly be alerted to it. And I know that there were like distraction things that you could throw and stuff, but honestly, it didn't matter. Like as soon as one of them was alerted for more than, you know, a microsecond, it was, you know, you were swarmed by things. So you ended up not bothering with the distraction things or even like, you know, I tried to be stealthy as much as I could, but at the end of the day, it was so difficult to, you know, as soon as you do any like one little bit of noise extra than what you needed, you just had tons of guys just running at you. And then the thing is, you know, you could tell the AI wasn't too bright because I could basically I could fire off a gun, sit there in a corner at, you know, with it right by a doorway and just keep shooting them as they came running in. Like I had that one area that was taken over where I just like sat there and had, I don't know, it had to be at least a dozen guys run through the door and I just shot them all, you know. It's just, and it doesn't stop. They just keep spawning and keep spawning and keep spawning. And when that overhead blimp comes after you, that was a real pain in the butt. They tried to do things with the motorcycle, and in fairness, the motorcycle was okay. The problem with the motorcycle that I mostly had was that it definitely was catered to an analog input. So basically, to really be able to control the motorcycle, you really had to be using a joystick, you know. And I could have swapped over to the joystick and then swapped back to the mouse and keyboard, but you know, the keyboard worked well enough, and honestly, the maps were so small that it just felt like the only time I really needed to use use motorcycles was when a quest, when a task required them, you know, to power up a generator or what have you. So yeah, and they were very adamant on putting them everywhere too, and it's like, nah, they're not. These aren't that. You know, and there were a lot of different areas that like required you to use it to get to a certain, you know, rooftop or to power generator and all that stuff. And it was just like they were really trying to force feed that motorcycle in there, because I guess that was like the big tech of the time, the big tech of their engine, you know. And it just wasn't needed, and it wasn't fun, you know. So I just kind of let that be. At least on the PC side. Probably on, you know, a console, it was probably good, you know, because you're already using a joystick and everything. But yeah, overall, it was okay. It was merely okay. This would definitely not be something that I would ever tell anyone to buy at full price. This is definitely a wait for a really good deal. And even then, only get it if there's nothing else on your list. You know, it's very baseline. Let's put it this way. Only buy this if you're the type of person who likes, say, Just Cause. A game like Just Cause. Because Just Cause is one of those games where the narrative really doesn't matter. It's all about the explosions and going around and just creating a bunch of mayhem and havoc and seeing how long you can survive. GTA 3 was kind of the same way too. If you didn't play the story in GTA 3, if you just went around and just start creating a bunch of havoc to see what it was like to have, how long you could stay at five stars, that kind of thing. That's very much this. It's very much a how many enemies can I kite into this small shack and keep murdering until they stop spawning, you know, that sort of thing. And I really feel like the hearts and minds meter really should have been affected by how many enemies you killed, because man, I killed a whole lot of them, and it doesn't move that meter at all. It does for snipers. Whenever you kill a sniper, you get a 1% boost, but like not the regular run-of-the-mill troops, and that, I think that's a bit of an oversight on their part, perhaps. Maybe if every, you know, 50 or 100 troops that you kill, you would get, you know, like 5% onto the meter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something to make it feel like it's worth sitting there and doing things. But yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. It's fine if that's what you go. If you go in and you say, I don't care about story, and I just want to shoot some things up, and just generally have some gun battles in tight corners and be a little bit of an underdog for some of the game, then yeah, this will probably work for you. It might even work if you're like sort of a Soulsborne type of person too, maybe, because you know, when you die, you lose all the trinkets that you picked up. You don't lose anything else, but you lose all the trinkets you picked up, and you spawn at the nearest vending machine, which would be like spawning at the nearest, you know, campfire, right? So I guess there's kind of a little bit of that. It's like, how long, you know, can I, you know, I want to get back to a campfire so I can cash in this stuff and get some upgrades and things, you know. So there's kind of a little bit of that there, a very, very, very basic level. But yeah, no, I mean, generally speaking, I don't have anything overly negative to say about the game. I think it's just it looks like it just looks like it's suffered from a focus entirely on consoles and not on PC and what the PC could provide it. You know what I mean? It just seemed like they either ran out of time, or it was kind of rushed out the door, or something to that effect, or perhaps it was just more of a, you know, a lot of competing ideas that they just kind of tried to find some middle ground behind, or they had started to do but then didn't quite finish them, so they just kind of tossed together what into the blender whatever they could, you know, and that's kind of the way I see the way I look at it. It also was interesting though that, you know, as you take over the hearts and minds of a different area, like you definitely see a difference in the area, so there was at least that. So, but yeah, that has been Homefront: The Revolution, my friends. I might at some point play the original Homefront. We'll see. I've heard that that's better than this one, but also not the best thing in the world either. So we'll see what happens with all that. But assuming, yep, they just popped me back to the main menu. So that will do it for this playthrough of Homefront: The Revolution. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone has... I hope to see everyone again in the next series.